Okay, I honestly really want to try to make this a short video today, mostly because I got some other stuff that I need to get done. But today, I knocked together a pattern pretty quickly for a, let me get this out of the way, for a little ottoman that will go with the newly finished pattern for the armchair. And you can see I've got things almost exactly where I want them. I kind of like the fact that this is a little bit off, so I think I'm going to leave that with like at least maybe a centimeter. The only thing I goofed up on this one is you can really see it like right there. I got the angle off just by about a millimeter right here, but I'm like, that doesn't mean I'm going to make a new one. One thing I didn't do here that I did do on this one is I added a clean piece for the bottom, which I think the reason I didn't do it is because it had some numbers written in here. And I did add a new cleaner piece of paper because this was all smudged and gross. So, we now have an armchair and a hassock. Now, here's the really kind of super interesting part for me is this morning when I was working. I don't know what climbed into my head. I have a habit of inverting numbers in my head, and I've done it. I only really started to notice it when I began working after high school. Like, you know, you go to university, and I went to art school, and I started doing some temp work and some other sorts of things. And I have a habit of, how do I put this? I have numbers in my head that mean things. And it's not like that thing that like Billie Eilish has, where you like different numbers or different colors or vibrations or something. I have associations with them. So in my head, certain numbers already are associated with something else. So when certain numbers come in certain combinations, I tend to flip them around. I know that sounds really odd. And two numbers that I tend to invert a lot are 3 and 5. And 8 sometimes gets inverted with 3. I don't know why it is. My brain's weird. So I'd made these two end pieces, because you can see here clearly it has two end pieces or two arm pieces. Like, if I can get that to focus, you can see 1, 2. And then here's the little cushion piece in the center. And I did that to mimic the same thing that we've got here. 1 and 1 and I didn't do as deep. I mean, I can still, when I say deep, I didn't do as deep a curve here, which I think kind of might have looked kind of cool, but for right now, I'm just gonna operate with this. And this isn't incredibly even, so that's why it's probably not sticking. But for some reason, while I was working this morning, because this is modeled after the same piece, and it goes together like super duper easy. I mean, seriously, it took me less than like 15 minutes to map this stuff out, because, you know, I've been swimming in it. So basically, it's the same sort of plan for this piece, where it's got a long thin piece in the center that connects, and then it's folded in. I did make some changes to it because I don't like this tab here. I moved the tab to the other side, and with a curve this deep, I really can't add, unless I add more of them along here in increasingly smaller amounts. It's just not, it doesn't work. I only put it on flat pieces. I have a different method for getting the curves to stick down on these smaller amounts, which I'll show you at some point. But for some reason this morning, I just went ahead, bam, it's all, I mean, I had two of them on one page ready to go, and then I looked at them and I'm like, I think I made these wrong. And I'm like, no. I took this piece that was almost completed, and I laid it down, and I went, yeah, it looks completely fine. What I'd forgotten is I wanted to put these little guys on. So that was a mistake. If I were to use something like this with no these are about a centimeter, I would have made these at 4. But as you can see, you know, even at this height, it's a little too much. So I went ahead and I put them together, and then I realized that I'd gotten the sizes wrong. And then I noticed, if you look at this one's like really kind of clean, and it's like, wait a minute, what's that paper doing there? I didn't realize it until I was gluing down the first side. You can see there's a little paper here that's in the wrong place, and it's like, oh my god, I folded this inside out. So instead of, I had glued all the paper inserts, the doubled up paper inserts, these are on the outside now. And I'm like, well, crud. I went ahead and finished putting them together because I'll use them for something else. Or, yeah, because I could use these for something else. This could be another cushion that goes on something. I don't know. But that's, you know, the goof up that I did, because for some reason I inverted the 3 and the 5, which just bugs me. 4s and 7s get inverted too, and 4s and 7s are related. 4s, 7s, and 12s are all related, like they're a family. I know, it's really, really weird. But sometimes I think that's, you know, my brain is just humming along, and I'm working on something, and I'm really kind of getting into it, and I just start flipping numbers around. So, long story short, or is it John Candy? Long story longer. I now have the design for this, and then you can see here the difference in the type of chair, because this is a much different type of chair. This if I wanted to, I could basically take this cushion away and not add that cushion, and completely upholster this piece, if I wish to. I don't know what I will do, because you know me, I make stuff and then never do anything with it. So, long story, just a teensy bit longer. That's what I'm working on. I've got everything scanned in, and I've started laying in the line work for this piece in Inkscape, and these pieces have them laid in, and I need to go in and start straightening things up, because I really would like to do a black and white print. So I'm going to keep this under 10 minutes. Woohoo, look at me go. So yeah. Thank you, patrons, for sticking with me. You may have noticed I've been starting to post a little bit more on Maudie LA's Instagram, and I have some reasons and some rationales about that, which I will be sharing with you at some point in this next month. Okay, try to keep this under 10 minutes. Basically, I am looking to close down my Instagram, my personal Instagram, and I am going to be keeping Maudie LA's, but I don't think I really need to have an Instagram account anymore. So, yeah. And with that, thank you, patrons, for sticking with me, as weird as I am and the fact that I make no sense, and I will see you in the next video.